Do you really want to be that aunt or uncle that was against niece or nephew's existence? It's Deidre. So if you watched my previous video, you might remember there was a story where OP was labeled the asshole by the audience, the readers of Reddit. The readers of Reddit determined OP was the asshole because OP did not believe that her brother and his girlfriend, who live in their mom's, basement, garage, one of the two, cheat on each other repeatedly, have a very toxic relationship, and smoke weed all day unemployed. OP asked if OP would be the asshole if she told them that having a child was a bad idea. That is right, the people of Reddit determined that OP would be the asshole for talking some sense into these people. And on top of that, Mom was behind it because Mom wanted to be a grandma. I don't know about you guys, but I am invested. I am gonna go to that post. Should we reread it? Yeah, I'll reread it, and we're gonna go to the comments and figure out why the people of Reddit have determined OP would be the asshole. Would I be the asshole if I told my brother he and his girlfriend should not have a baby? My 20 female brother, 24 male, and his girlfriend are apparently trying for a baby. Here's the thing. My brother is a high school dropout. He doesn't work. He isn't back in school. He doesn't do anything basically, but go out with his friends and smoke weed all day. His girlfriend doesn't really have a stable job either. She's a hairstylist who has one client every month. My brother and his girlfriend both live in our mother's basement. My mom enables the behavior. She doesn't tell him to get a job, go back to school, or do anything productive. When I found out they were trying for a baby, I immediately thought, why? When they have no source of income, no space for a baby, and neither of them are emotionally mature enough to raise a child, considering they're in a toxic relationship where they break up every month and constantly cheat on each other. I told my mother she needs to tell them they shouldn't be trying for a baby because of all these reasons. She said they're two adults who can make their own decisions. Would I be the asshole if I told my brother he should not have a baby? I feel like it'll seem like I'm being judgmental or unsupportive. Well, you don't support it, duh. But this isn't just about him. This is about a human child they'll potentially be screwing up by bringing them into this world unprepared. And as you can see, people of Reddit have spoken. OP will be the asshole if she speaks up about this. Does this make any sense to you? It doesn't make sense to me, so we're gonna go through some of the comments and see how they figure. One commenter says, don't waste your breath. You would be the asshole if you thought relaying him the simple rational outcome of this situation would make him have some major change of heart. That's exactly what we had said in the previous video. Obviously, he's not capable of adult reasoning. However, you could get it on record with both him and your mom that in no way will you be stepping in to help with childcare or their future expenses if they insist on doing something so outrageously dumb. Let them screw up their own lives. Okay, that part I'm kind of gonna disagree with because once baby gets here, it's highly likely that auntie will want to be that auntie. And if she burns that bridge so early on in the game, it could be something that she comes to regret when it comes to the child. She may not support her brother and his little wifey girlfriend there, but she'll probably want to support the child as best as she possibly can and perhaps be a positive influence where she can. So I wouldn't recommend burning that bridge just yet. The child didn't do anything to deserve to be abandoned by his or her auntie. But I understand what that commenter's saying. And I'm not saying that she has to take up any responsibilities. I'm simply saying do not burn the bridge. Maybe be strategic, more strategic about saying you're not available for daycare 24/7. Maybe there's a way to let them know that you're not someone they can pass the child to all the time while they're going out and being irresponsible. For good reasons, possibly. Once in a while, but not all the time. Another commenter says, your concerns are 100% valid. Bringing a child into a chaotic, unstable environment affects more than just the parents. That said, telling someone they shouldn't have a baby is a conversation that can go south really fast. It's true, it can. Especially coming from a sibling, especially coming from a younger sibling. If you do say something, keep it focused on concern for the child's well-being, not judgment of their lifestyle. But ultimately, you can't stop them. All you can do is voice your worries with compassion and hope they listen. That's true. In their eyes, it would definitely make her the asshole. Perhaps, okay, I'm feeling a bit more comfortable about these responses. I was getting worried. It sounds like what people are saying is that in the eyes of her brother and his girlfriend, she will be an asshole, which is fair, highly likely. But on the outside looking in, I don't think it would make her an asshole, personally. And someone responded to that comment actually saying, if you can't slap your siblings with some common sense now and then, who can? But maybe OP doesn't have the kind of relationship with their brother where you can just say, I love you, bro, but you're an idiot. I would totally say that to my brother, though. Okay, that's fair. Maybe she doesn't. Maybe he doesn't take that kind of thing well. Hey, if they're in a toxic relationship, cheating on each other, and that's how they deal with their problems, chances are, as OP noted, their emotional development is not evolved enough to be able to handle that type of comment from their sibling. As I'm scrolling through these, I am seeing a lot of people saying not the asshole. So I wonder how the little mechanism in this subreddit determined that OP was the asshole. That didn't make sense at all to me. But as I read the comments, my faith in Reddit readers has been restored. Oh, actually, here's an everyone sucks here. Everyone sucks here. Respectfully, you just sound naive thinking telling him that is going to have any kind of impact at all. The only thing that's going to happen is they're still going to continue to do what they want to do and now be angry at you. Yeah. It's more likely to be the outcome if OP does say something, honestly, because their brains are not in a place to handle that logic. And someone responded with, the other party being stupid doesn't really make OP an asshole though. It just means the other people are stupid. Fair enough. I like this one already. You are a sensible asshole, not your circus, not your monkeys. If you're worried about your mother having to support them, the same thing she told you. She's an adult and she knows what she's doing. That's fair. Yeah, a sensible asshole. I like that. Surprisingly, I'm having a very hard time finding comments of people who actually said OP would be the asshole. So I don't know, maybe this thing is broken. I'm gonna try typing in YTA or you would be the asshole and see what comes up. You're the asshole. Look, you're not wrong. They absolutely should not be having a baby. But your mom is also right. They're adults. They want to have a baby together? Let them. Let them dig themselves a hole to their own hell. Some people need to learn the hard way how stupid their decisions are. When CPS is called and places a kid in your mom's care and she comes crying to you, just smile and say, told you so. Enjoy taking care of 3 kids and walk away. That's a little, let's hope it doesn't come to that, but I don't think any of this makes OP the asshole, so I don't know why they said that. Let's pull up another one. Here's someone who brings up a pretty good point, actually. You're the asshole. They're adults and can make this choice on their own. I can see why this might seem to you like the best choice financially. But at the end of the day, your opinion isn't going to matter that much. And do you really want to be the aunt/uncle that was against your niece/nephew's existence? That's important. Side note, even if they do get pregnant, you should be supportive even if there are times you want to say, I told you so. Wow, that response got downvoted to -15. I don't agree with YTA at all. Perhaps that's why they got downvoted so much, because it seems like the general consensus is actually that OP would not be the asshole. But perhaps because they said YTA at the beginning of making complete sense is the reason why they got downvoted so hard. Let's read a couple replies to that comment. I agree with the fact that OP doesn't really have a right to tell them what to do. However, I strongly disagree with you saying they should be supportive of the pregnancy. Bad, irresponsible decisions absolutely do not mandate support from others, family or not. I guess it really depends. It seems like there's a bit of a fine line when it comes to that, because once the child is there, feelings do change. And you may not have supported the decisions of mom and dad, but when it comes to the child, I think OP would really have to ask herself what the original commenter said was, do you really want to be that aunt or uncle that was against niece or nephew's existence? And also consider the toxicity of their parents. They will probably make that known to the child. If they see that child start to favor you, I would not be surprised if they whip that one out just to cause some negative feelings towards you. I don't know. I guess you should just, maybe the best option is to keep some of this internal, despite what you might feel. Because you will want to love that child. Obviously, if you're thinking this far ahead for the sake of the child, chances are you're going to love the shit out of that child. And I know because I am an auntie and I love all of my nieces and nephews to death. It's a very different feeling. Let's see, original commenter actually responded to that response to her comment. I think it's her. That's a great way to tank family relationships and have to possibly have a limited or poor relationship with a future niece or nephew. And over what? Because you think they're too poor to have children? You know, this person's actually right. This was downvoted to -8, but I think they're actually right. Seems like regret would follow the choice to be unsupportive. I agree. A new baby in the family should be celebrated no matter the circumstances. If there are extreme extenuating circumstances, then support should be given, not derision. So I kind of do agree with that, but also you have to consider, like, these parents are ridiculous. These parents are going to be so unequipped emotionally. They're going through their own difficult relationship, and chances are they're not going to process the difficulty that comes with a new child, a new baby, very well, any better than they process the difficulty they already have. And if they think that this is an okay situation to bring a baby in, chances are this is a set of people who won't even be able to take help. How do I say that? It'll become very clear very quickly that you can't help people who can't help themselves. So even though I think this commenter has a good point, I think there do have to be some limitations, because you can't grab mother's arms and force her to do tasks, you know, or grab dad's head and get him to stop looking at other girls when he's no longer attracted to his girlfriend and her postpartum body. You can only do so much. So I think that both commenters have some valid points. Perhaps it's just a fine line that OP needs to walk that doesn't totally send her relationship with niece and nephew up in flames. Maybe some criticisms are best left unsaid, which I think someone had said before. Some things are probably going to be better left unsaid. I'm just thinking, you know, what if she sat her brother down and they had a real talk, and she actually put some reality in there and he actually grasped it and said, you know what, okay, maybe this isn't a good idea. Like that would... It's possible. I mean, I don't want to say it's impossible, but I don't know. What if that was the one thing that changed everything? You get me? I don't know. She knows her siblings. Perhaps she can read all of these comments and then decide from there what to do. She seems smart. And as I scroll down this back and forth between these same commenters, it seems like a lot of these people don't agree with the original commenter because they are completely not considering what it's like to have a relationship with your niece or nephew. Like, it's gold. It's precious, and it seems like a lot of people who don't agree with her don't understand that. Anyway, moving on. Someone who hasn't said YTA or NTA has said, if you are close enough to them to feel comfortable, try asking them some leading questions like, where would the baby sleep? Have you priced things out like diapers, strollers, and other baby gear? How about medical insurance and doctor visits for the baby? Make it very clear that you will not be babysitting or loaning money. After that, all you can do is feel sorry for the kid. I don't think this comment takes into consideration what we was just talking about the relationship with niece/nephew. And I'll close with a comment that I actually agree with. Not the asshole, but he won't listen. I wouldn't say don't have a baby, but I agree with the sentiment. I'd just work to find a way to address your issues without saying you'll be awful parents. I don't know why everyone is saying YTA. Yeah, they're adults, but they want to bring a child into this mess? I agree. And someone responded to that saying, because the sub has way too many unhinged, chronically online people who live to be contrarians. And I will leave you with that because it is actually true. What did you think? I'm glad we looked into that because I was getting kind of worried about Reddit. My faith has been restored. Yeah!